In this video we are going to learn how to make the enemy follow the player. For this tutorial we do not use Navmeshagent and we do not use AI, so remember that the enemy will not avoid obstacles and move towards the player. You can follow this tutorial very easily, and also very few lines of C# codes are used here. So you can make the enemy follow under less than 10 minutes. For this tutorial you need only 2 cube objects, a plane, and 2 C# scripts. Before moving to the lesson, if you enjoy watching this video, please subscribe to this channel by clicking on the subscribe button below, and like this video. Now create a plane. After that, create a cube and name it as player. Then create a material and rename it as player. Change its color to green. Now drag the material onto the player cube. Now we have a green cube on the plane. So the next step is the creating the enemy. For enemy also we use a cube. So create a cube and rename it as enemy. Then create a material. Change the material color to red. As we did before, drag and drop the enemy material onto the enemy cube. Now we are done with the designing of the enemy and the player. Now let's enlarge the plane a little. To do that, change the scale of the plane. Set the value of the X scale to 3 and Z scale to 3. Now add the rigid body component to both player and enemy. Select player from hierarchy, and then click on add component from the inspector window, then select rigid body from the list. It will automatically add the rigid body component to the player. Follow the same steps to add the rigid body component to the enemy. Next, make the main camera a child object, the player. It will make the camera follow the player. Now select the main camera and change its X position to 0 and Y position to 23. Change the X rotation of the camera to 90 degrees. Also, change the Z position of the camera to 0. Add 2 C# scripts for both player and enemy. Name them as player and enemy respectively. First, open the player script. In this script we are coding to control the player cube with WASD keys. Delete all the comments including start function. After that, type inside the update function. If, open brackets, input.getKey, open brackets again, keycode.w. Close all the brackets. Open curly brackets and inside, type transform.translate, open brackets 0, 0, 10 multiply by time. Delta time, close brackets. Close the curly brackets. This if condition is used for moving forward. Modify this code for all other movements as follows. Now, save the scripts and go back to Unity. Open the enemy script and the delete all comments including start function. Now create a game object, and a float, and name them as player and speed respectively. Then inside the update function, type transform.lookat, open brackets, player.transform.position and close brackets. This will make the enemy looking at the player all the time. After that, let's make the enemy move towards the player. Inside the update function, type transform.translate, open brackets, 0, 0, speed multiply by time.delta time, and close brackets. After that we use onCollision stay function, because it is called for every frame unlike the onCollision enter. Change the parameter of the onCollision stay function to obj. Inside the onCollision stay function, type if, inside brackets, obj.gameObject.name equals to player. Speed equals 0, else speed equals 5. Now drag the player object and drop it on the player slot in the enemy script. Change the speed to 5. Now you can see that the enemy is following the player. But, you can see that as soon as the player stops, enemy hits the player. We can avoid this collision, and to keep the enemy at some distance away from the player, by enlarging player's box collider size as follows. Now let's run the program. Now you can see that the enemy follows the player. You can use this method or modify it, and use for making your Unity game. Just follow the guidelines given in this video. If you have any problems regarding this video, you can ask them in the comment section. If you enjoy watching this video and if it is helpful to you, please subscribe and like this video. If you need to get notified about future videos, please click on the bell icon.